Good morning, everyone. My name is Chérisse Mike, and I'm the current International Student Experience Coordinator at the Student Success Office. And we will be hosting this International Student Online discussion on leadership today. So before we start, I'd like to acknowledge that the University of Waterloo is on lands that are deeply connected to Indigenous peoples who have historically lived and who currently live on this territory. These groups include the Neutral, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee peoples. The University of Waterloo is situated on the Haldimand Tract, the land promised to the Six Nations that includes 10 kilometers on each side of the Grand River. So these are just the items on the agenda today. So I'll go through some housekeeping, and then we will have this short presentation by Jill Knight on leveraging your leadership potential. We will have a survey because we would like to see how this session impacted you, and then we will do our prize draw. So just a note about the prize draw. Please go to our website and confirm that you are eligible for the prize draw. So we acknowledge in this virtual world that technical difficulties abound. So if you are unable to hear or see the speaker for any reason, or if there's a problem with the slides, please let us know in the chat, and I will make sure to try to handle that for you. If for some reason we get disconnected, we will reconnect and we will take those problems as they arise. Note well that this is being recorded, but unless you're speaking, your image should not be up on the screen. There will be time for a Q&A throughout and at the end. So again, if you have a question, please feel free to unmute or type it in the chat. As I said before, there will be a prize draw and a survey link at the end. Please know that this is intended to be a safe space for speakers and participants. So we encourage you to ensure that your conduct adheres to the University of Waterloo's guidelines and ensure that this is a welcoming and safe space for all those involved. So before I pass it over to Jill, are there any questions I can answer for anyone thus far? I'm gonna give it the 10 seconds that Jill likes to say. Okay, wonderful. Then I will pass it on to Jill.
Excellent. Thank you, Chérisse. I'm just going to pop open, take control, share my screen. As we talk about technical difficulties, we are working our best with what Microsoft is giving us this morning. So by a reaction, whether that's a heart, thumbs up, applaud, could you just inform and let me know if you can see my screen, which should say leveraging your leadership potential through the student leadership program. Excellent. Thank you so much. Seeing some reactions, that's a good sign for me. So hello, everyone, and welcome to a short presentation, but hopefully insightful for you to understand how the Student Leadership Program is helping you leverage your leadership potential. Like Chérisse mentioned, my name is Jill Knight, and I'm the coordinator of this program alongside our mentorship training in the Student Success Office. Jumped it. Here it is. And as a reminder, we are recording today's session. So I'm very excited to either be with you, whether it's 9 a.m. or 6:30 p.m. Thank you so much for being here with us. Snapshot of our quick agenda today. So just some introductions, and I'd like to say an icebreaker. Don't worry, it won't be too user intensive on your ends. Want to respect the time frames of the day for folks. I want to talk to you about how we got where we are today with our program, and then talk to you about what this new program entails, the benefits of participating, connecting with the Student Leadership Program, and then we're going to do a brief group activity. So Chérisse went over group expectations, but these are our group expectations within our workshops that we like to mirror or support in order to make sure that the workshop is the best experience for our students. As you can see in this list, there's a range of them, whether it's participating, respecting, just embracing the unexpected. Heck, that's what we're doing right now. So Chérisse is going to be supporting me, whether she likes it or not, with our chat function, because I can't see it right now. And what we want to do is make sure we at least provide the best experience that our technology will allow us. So that one I normally like to announce is for mostly me. But at the end of the day, it's so important that if you are going to be sharing your time with us, we are going to make sure that you have fun doing so. So the Student Leadership Program is designed to make sure that's interactive and entertaining. This is our icebreaker. So we're going to do a bit of an emoji check-in. So Sharice, I might ask you to help me out here. What I'm going to do is I will guide us in this. So right now we have 3 questions. My first one for you is in the chat, use one emoji or GIF to describe how you're doing today. So maybe Sharice, after you drop in your GIF or emoji, would you like to commentate or have a bit of commentary about what's going on in the chat for me so I get an idea and a sense of what's going on?
Wonderful. I just want to say I put the I'm so excited GIF from, the little girl from, I don't know, the the one of the talent
Does
shows
she
they
have
used to
cotton
sing.
candy in her hand or
Yes.
something?
No, but she's like, I'm
Oh,
so excited.
oh, that
That's
one.
what she's
Yes,
doing.
I do live for
Yes.
that. It's like there's one with the kid with the cotton candy and she's just too jazzed up, doesn't know how to control her emotion. That one often comes in. I like the one where it's like the sloth from Zootopia. It's a slow smile, mostly because I feel like with these workshops, it's like slow to warm and then we really dive in.
Mhm.
What else is going on?
So I'm waiting for other people to type in the chat. Oh, Kareem is just rolling over in his bed. Um, Shayu, I apologize if I'm saying your name right, but feel free to unmute and say your name properly if you'd like me to correct it. But they're super excited. We got some Charlie Brown dancing going on. Tanisha is having breakfast with
Mm,
Ryan Gosling. I would also be like to have
okay.
breakfast with Ryan Gosling.
Word.
Mercy's a little cranky baby in the morning, but we love to see it. Um, Philippe, he's pretending that he's awake. I don't know if I believe that gift. But Rishab, who is at 6:30 in the Mumbai time, is dancing in a party. So a wide array of different reactions
We
right now.
are an emotional scale. Thank you so much. I have 2 more questions for you. Again, use an emoji or a GIF to tell me what you're looking forward to doing this summer.
So I have put a dog uh, air paddling. Someone's like holding it over the water because I feel like summertime is all about the water. So I'm just looking forward to getting in there some way, somehow. If
It's almost misleading. I
COVID.
thought you were going to say I'm getting a dog.
Oh no, I
I
just
was
the
like,
swimming part. Swimming part.
just
Mercy looks like she's rollerblading. I don't know, Palm Beach. I'm down roller skating. I those things don't really work for me. Um, I am more comfortable on flat ground. This movement thing does not work. Denicia is chilling in some palm trees. You bought it?
some
Mm,
max relaxation, hopefully.
yes, you feel it. Cream is hoping to travel.
Ah, yes.
Cream, you and me both. You and me both. This
At
COVID
least
is not.
not doing us solid. At least something out of the city limits, you know?
Mm.
We're a little bit desperate just for a little bit of change.
Yep. Yep. I mean, KW is great. Shout out to all the international people on here. But yeah,
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
Philippe is excited for a spring break.
Mm.
Some Simpsons fam over there. So I think,
And
we got a good range of things that we're trying to do in the summer.
absolutely. And the final one, just to check in and connect also to what we're going to be talking about today. Use a GIF, emoji, word, or phrase. So now we're expanding on our options here to describe what leadership means to you. No
So,
wrong answers.
ooh, are you sure you want to say that? I'm just about to
I'm
describe my GIF. It is an owner holding a dog on a leash, and the dog refuses to move, so it's just dragging the dog along the floor here. So,
Oh, and how do you connect that to leadership,
well,
Cherise?
the human is leading the dog, whether the dog wants to go or not.
Mm,
No.
got you. Okay, thank you.
Hmm. Kareem has put a GIF from Peaky Blinders. I have not seen that show, so but I'm assuming that this makes sense. But it says this place is under new management by order of the Peaky Blinders. Has anyone else seen that show? No, we got a couple of shake heads here. Rishab says collaboration. Yes. Mercy, the rock is telling another human that I don't recognize that the rock sees potential in him. About it, support. Yes, I'm thinking this is from his like WWE days. He looks very like super buff and wrestly type looking. Love to see it.
I feel like that's how he always looks, but he must look just ever so slightly younger.
Yes, yes. Philippe has put milk in a glass. Um, oh, maybe it's, I love trying to decipher these things. Maybe it's, the leader is filling up the glass full of potential for the employee or the follower. Maybe that's that. I'm gonna assume that's what it is, but feel free to tell me if I'm wishful thinking here. Um, or if that was it's a great, love it. You know what? My brain's working this morning. Love to see it. Yes, Philippe
I
said
kind of like
yes.
how this worked out, that you
Yeah.
have to decipher these chats and I just get to facilitate the content. This might have been the best thing that happens.
Oh, this works. This works. Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you all for sharing in the chat.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Exactly. I couldn't say it better myself. So keep that chat function open. Chérisse will continue telling me if anything's going on. The reason we did that is just because we try to mirror our workshop, and our workshops are very interactive. And whether it's just doing a simple check-in icebreaker to get to know who's in the space with us together, but as well, we go through a lot of activities and utilize our breakout rooms. So keep that chat open. Hopefully throughout this conversation, you'll be adding to it. I want to let you know and give you an idea about how did we get where we are today with the student leadership program. So we completed a needs assessment to really determine what the heck our student population wants. And in that case, these are some key findings that we discovered. Motivation is one of the biggest things that we need in order for our students to have buy into our program. And so what we're trying to offer with the student leadership program is a resume building opportunity to increase your skills and knowledge. I think everyone knows that they have leadership potential, but you may not see yourself necessarily as an air quote leader. Well, we're here to hopefully change that narrative and demonstrate to you that you do have the skills and abilities, and let's help refine them and show you how that you can demonstrate them in a position of leadership or in your everyday life. We also want to increase, and this has been more important, especially during a pandemic, is your networking opportunities. So the student leadership program is open for folks that are in their 1A arts program to their PhD in engineering. Whether you're international or domestic, you're a co-op or non-co-op student, this program is for everyone. So now we're increasing that opportunity for you to get to know some students on our campus. It's also identified that flexibility is really important. So what we can do is you can take the workshops in any order, and I'll jump into what the workshops are in the next slide. It's peer facilitated. So we've really identified, and the folks on campus have identified you as students that you love learning from your peers. So let's create the opportunity to do so. So 4 out of the 6 workshops are delivered by students. Hybrid model of workshop delivery. We are both, when we resume in person, we will be delivering online workshops and in person so that it's the maximizing the accessibility to the program. We want to make it an easy path to certification so that you actually feel that you've accomplished the student leadership program. So you have that tangible certificate at the end. That tangible part is paused right now as we are in a pandemic, but when we're in person, you'll be receiving an actual certificate. We also want you to flex those skills. So community engagement and volunteer hours, that's 10. And I would argue that most people do that and they aren't even aware of it. And so we're just asking you to demonstrate these skills in a leadership opportunity or a part-time job. And last is, we mentioned earlier, networking opportunities, but that's also networking opportunities on campus to get involved and also getting to know folks that you may not have normally the opportunity to interact with. So this is how the program shakes out. We've created a program where everyone can develop and learn their leadership potential through exploring, which is the 6 workshops that we offer. The experience, which is the opportunity for you to practice. So whether it's a volunteer opportunity or a paid opportunity, and then connect. So you're going to connect this learning that you have gone through in a reflection. So we have 7 questions that we want you to reflect on so that we can make sure you've really deepened your understanding. So again, this is the program structure of how it looks. What we want you to know is be aware of the 6 workshops that we have. So building effective teams, it's understanding what strengths and qualities do you bring to a team, and exploring particularly what it's like to be a member of a team in an online world. We then have personality dimensions, which is a self-awareness workshop that really helps you understand yourself more, to therefore understand your other members of your team, perhaps roommates, or your family members. And that will help you gain motivation, increase your cooperation, and those skills that come with knowing yourself to better know others. Next is interpersonal communication and leadership, and that's really helping you determine what is your preferred communication style. On top of that, it's understanding when and where it's best to use certain communication styles, depending on your environment and situation. We have another workshop called Understanding and Developing Your Intercultural Competence. So we start with understanding and gaining more awareness, talking about knowledge and behaviors, and then we move into some actionable items for students to digest. How can we really appreciate more of a diverse world and then leverage that learning experience from others? We have exploring conflict management, and this workshop, as the title kind of ensues, like we will be talking and learning more about conflict handling styles and what is your preferred style. But also we'll be putting into practice and learning mediation techniques. So that could be helping you support some conflicts with family, friends, roommates. And lastly, we're doing exploring leadership, which is going to dive into activities that give you the foundation of different leadership theories to understand why we are using certain theories today and kind of the hot trends with leadership. We're actually going to go into an activity with that workshop in a few moments, so we'll pause on that one. Every workshop, it's important to know, has a self-reflection or self-assessment embedded into them to help you really make sure that you can set informed goals about your leadership progress. As mentioned before, we move into the leadership experience. So due to COVID-19, we are accepting experiences that are off campus right now. But the goal of the program when we resume back in person on campus and air quote normal would be that you explore and experience a leadership experience on campus, help you really instill where you can feel a part of our community here. And like I've noted, a reflection, which if you're interested in the questions are on our website. Benefits for, oh, Chérisse, yes. Should I
Yeah, I
pause?
was just gonna jump in for a second. So we were
Yes.
talking about sort of not being on campus, and I put a GIF in the chat. It's David Diggs. I don't know if you guys know David Diggs. He was in Hamilton, but it says, "I miss other people sweating on me," and some people have reacted favorably to that GIF. So I just want to say we're all here, sort of missing other humans, and we appreciate the fact that this session is still being offered, even though it's virtual right now.
Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that and jumping in. Like, I agree. Who would have thought that we would have missed that? You don't know a good air quote good thing until it's gone. And so maybe you won't be sweating on people, but you'll be in breakout rooms chit-chatting with other students. So you can kind of virtually sweat in your own space and get to know someone else. The benefits of participating in the student leadership program. So really, like, why would you spend around 22 hours doing this? Well, it's hopefully the biggest one is skill development and articulation. So you're really gaining a better sense of self-awareness. People toss out a word around like, I am self-aware. I know who I am. Well, do you practice self-reflection? Do you take these assessments, which you don't need to take as the textbook version of yourself, but it will help you ask questions you normally don't ask to yourself and reflect on them. We're talking time management because you have to schedule in workshops and a experience to participate in. We're hoping that this will develop your confidence, which I will give you some testimonials in a minute speaking towards people developing confidence. Public speaking, just getting used to an online virtual environment. This isn't going anywhere. And so the more comfortable we feel online, I think the better we will appreciate our experiences. Active listening and collaboration. Hopefully, you're going to develop some new relationships or expand your peer network. On campus employment or volunteer opportunities, we're continually pushing those out and informing students about them. You can engage with the broader UW community. So maybe you only have friends. When I was in my undergrad for the first 2 years, I really only had friends in recreation and leisure studies. And I was like, oh, this is weird. I should have like a diverse set of friends. So I did get involved with the student leadership program and I saw that expand. And tangible recognition. People love putting things on their resume. I get it, don't we all? I'm like looking for certificate programs too. So let's give the people what they want. Sharice, you're giggling. What's going on?
Mercy has just put in the most perfect GIF in the chat. So it's a girl saying, I am enough, I'm enough. And her caption is self-awareness. And you know what? I stand. I'm appreciative of the confidence that we're only gonna build on in this session, but love to see it. Wonderful.
Oh my God, that is perfect timing. I really appreciate that, Mercy. So you are enough and you will have some confidence built after completing the student leadership program. Here are some true testimonials that we have from our participants just from last term. So they improved their public speaking skills. They want to get more involved in group activities. You have the opportunity to apply these skills. It makes you feel more confident in a leadership role. And you may hopefully feel more confident acting as that leader. And that's what we're hearing a lot from our participants is that they may not label themselves as a technical leader, but we're trying to tell you, heck yeah, you are. And let us show you how you can demonstrate that. Let's develop those skills and that confidence so you feel as though you belong in that leadership role and it's not kind of maybe like an imposter syndrome. Also made you feel more confident just to pursue leadership opportunities, find new connections, and then build relationships with a diverse group of students. So let's walk through kind of what we do in the student leadership program. So a group activity with exploring leadership. What I'm going to ask you to do, and I'm going to give you maybe 2 minutes. We won't complete the full assessment, but if you go to Brene Brown's, it's a website called daretollead.brenebrown.com/assessments. I'm sorry that I don't have the chat. I was going to plunk it in there. So Chérisse, sorry, it's daretollead.brenebrown.com/assessment. If you get there and you want to plunk that in the chat, that would be fabulous. So I just want to expose you to this. It's Daring Leadership. It's a self-assessment. This is in our Exploring Leadership workshop. So this is one out of the 6 assessments that you would go through. This one is specifically outsourced to a huge, I would say, leadership Mongol right now, Brene Brown. And what she's trying to tell us and walk us through is reviewing the idea of daring leadership, which has 4 categories: rumbling with vulnerability, living into your values, braving trust, and learning to rise. For today, I won't say that you will complete the full assessment, but I would challenge you or ask you to go through it, sit with those results, and see what's happening. So in my case with this assessment, my rumbling with vulnerability score was, I think, sub 5 out of 10, which truly indicates and correlates to me being very risk adverse. And in a world where I think in a pandemic where we can kind of try new things and just stretch our comfort zones, that result indicated to me that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you're trying your best. So I should rumble with vulnerability a little bit more. Am I going bungee jumping tomorrow for risk management? Absolutely not. But am I going to step outside of my comfort zone and try maybe a sport that I'm not used to, like paddleboarding, like Shreese talked to earlier with the dog? I would never really want to do that because I don't love doing sports I'm bad at. It's the competitive side of me. But I need to stretch myself outside of my comfort zone. So enjoy
So
clicking through that.
all I'm
Go ahead.
hearing, Jill, is that this summer we are going to go paddle boarding. That's what I hear. Mercy, are you joining us? I feel like anyone else who's in KW, are we going
Yes,
paddle boarding? Great,
Grand
wonderful. We'll make it
River.
happen.
Okay.
Love it.
I need this group accountability. So I'm sweating a little bit right now. Okay. Anyway, so with the self-assessment, please feel free to dive into it a little bit deeper after this. We would typically ask students to share an insight, and as I just did with mine. But what we're trying to do in this workshop is really set the foundation for leadership and understand leadership is not about titles or the corner office. It's about the willingness to step up and put yourself out there and lean into courage. The world is desperate for braver leaders, and that's a quote from Brene Brown. Just recognizing, actually, I'm going to pause and I'm going to spin to you folks. What do you feel or think about this quote? Does anything sit with you? Do you agree with it? Disagree with it? Are you a brave leader? Use the chat, or you can feel free to raise your hand and jump into the conversation. Go for it, Chérisse. I think your head. Yeah, okay, good. Sometimes mine's super delayed and it plays with me, and I call on people who didn't have their hand up.
Oh gosh, poor thing. I think that something that stands out for me is the last line that the world is desperate for braver leaders. Because I think when I first think about a leader, I assume that they have to be brave. So I'm just like, now it's asking for braver leaders. So it's already something, to get to this level of leadership that I assume has some level of bravery. But now I got to do more. That's a little bit intimidating. But I know if I go through the student leadership program, it's not going to be as intimidating because you're going to provide me with all the foundational skills that I need to become a better leader. So, it's fine. We can do this. We got this.
Absolutely. I appreciate that comment about it takes bravery already to be a leader and stand out and perhaps stand up for things that aren't air quote the norm or trendy. And now we're asking for even braver leaders. But I think it's to do exactly that, is to step up, do the right thing, and hopefully be equipped with the skills that you feel confident stepping up and being braver.
Yep. Mercy has also shared in the chat the poet laureate, whose name I can't remember. So, Mercy, feel free to say it out loud. But she's the one who spoke at the inauguration. And there's a quote that says, "For there is always light if only we're brave enough to see it." I think that's pretty cool. I feel bad. I should know her name. I'm going to Google it.
I
Poet.
love that connection piece. Thank you,
Yes.
Marcy.
Her name is Amanda Gorman. Amanda
And,
Gorman.
and
Wonderful.
quick research skills, Cherise. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You want the information, she's got it.
And Denise is saying that she's a brave leader, dot, 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 once she gets a teeny tiny bit of encouragement first.
Absolutely. And I think we're all kind of craving for that too, is that little support. Have you, and I encourage you, if you've ever watched it's a TED talk about how important your second follower is in
Mm.
supporting you. And it's all starts with like it's how to start a movement. That's what the TED talk is called. And it's
It's the
about this
dancing
person who's
one.
dancing. Yes. So
Hmm.
I would encourage you to watch it. And that's a great connection to the point of just getting that little boost of encouragement and just watch the change that you can make. One more activity before I open up to questions and then how you can connect with us. So this is another activity, leadership advice from your role model. I'm going to give you about a minute and a half to reflect on this. And going through your leadership journey, whether it's at the beginning, the middle, can't be at the end. I'm telling you right now, you are nowhere close to the end of your leadership journey. Reflect on who has mentored you. What advice were you given that has a major impact on you? And I'm curious, would anyone be comfortable sharing? So I'll quiet down for the next 30 seconds to actually give you some time to reflect. Please plop in some advice. It's instrumental to your leadership journey to kind of share advice, whether it's a kooky piece of comical advice that were given, or something very sentimental and has a big movement on you. So I'm pausing, quieting. I'll give you 30 seconds. Drop into the chat if you feel comfortable. Okay, so that's been 30 seconds. I think people, I don't know if anyone's dropped anything in there, Sharice, yet. Do we have some?
So I basically dropped that my mom has definitely given me a lot of advice.
Yes. Would you like to
Um,
share?
I mean, I feel like she's given me advice on every possible thing, but
Mhm.
within this context, I think she has, and especially off of what like Denicia has said about just needing a tiny bit of encouragement. She is definitely a mom cheerleader, and anything have even the remotest, slightest idea of that I possibly want to do, she's like, "Yes, go do it. You can do it. It's fine. It's great. You got this." I could tell her I want to build another Eiffel Tower, and she'll be like, "Yes, okay. Where do we get bricks?" That's the kind of human that she is. I also popped a question in the chat about asking if anyone has given any of the participants advice on coming to UW. Like, we're all international students here, so someone must have told us something about UW. So I was wondering if anyone had anything to share about the advice that they got about coming to UW. I know we have representatives from all over the world here right now, so I was
Yes.
just asking that.
Yes, a great question. And to kind of help fill this mentorship advice piece while folks maybe drop in some advice that they have given. I will speak again to a case of my mother being kind of a champion and cheerleader and dropping in life lessons as you go. And I remember when you're in high school and navigating conflict perhaps isn't the easiest thing to do. I'm particularly from a small town as well. My mom really set me up with this kind of 72-hour rule, and it works not for everyone, but it works for me. And so if a conflict happens, I have 72 hours to completely deal with it. So 24 hours, she advises me to sit with it myself, reflect on the conversations that I've had, what has been said, what is the environment that we were in. And after I've done my reflection, I have 48 hours to reconnect with that individual and express the concern or how we're going to move forward through it. And then she notes at the end of the 72 hours, if I have not actionably taken care of it, that is now on my responsibility and I need to let it go. So she's like, if it didn't bug you enough to have a conversation with someone, you may not let that impact you any longer. Because I am maybe similar to my father and I like to harbor some conflict sometimes. And so she has learned to manage my father. So now she's learned to manage my conflict expectations. And so it's a 72-hour rule. As I said, does not work for everyone, but it's impacted me because I have learned to let go of things much faster now. Chérisse, anything going on in that chat function?
Yeah, so
Were you
Mercy Mercy has said that someone told her that getting into UW is highly competitive, and they hope that she gets in. The emojis that she put next to that don't look very like happy and encouraging. It looks very much like a snarky comment, but I'm gonna take it and turn it around because look what you did it, you got in, you're here, you killed it, right? So we are happy that you are here. You are definitely adding a value to the UW community, and we appreciate you and all the hard work you obviously put in to get here. And you know what? If you when you go through this student leadership program, you are going to be able to give better advice and more uplifting and comforting statements to the future people who are coming to UW. So you know what? We love to see it. We're happy that you're here. And we're going to take that little snarky comment that whoever said, and turn it on his head, and you're going to be great. So we thank you for sharing.
Brilliant. Well, keep it. I figure just a reflection. If you need your cheerleader, Chérisse is like just like pushing her mom vibes on
Got you.
everyone. She's doing
Got you.
what was done to her, and I'm living for it. So you need that support, that validation that you belong here and you deserve to be here. Chérisse has got you. So I will pass this along to Chérisse to put in the chat as well. I do have some notes. So if you want to connect with the student leadership program, all the information I shared with you is on the website. All of our workshops are on portal. Registration is open now. We are live and active in the spring term, fall term, winter term. We are here to serve the students every single term. We do try to offer some international friendly hours. So again, closer to this 9 a.m. mark. So hopefully that we're catching folks on the other side of the world with all of the hour differences. What a different thing we have to consider is time zones now. So again, and we also love to hear your feedback. If you're like, ooh, 9 a.m. is just not a great time. Ironically, we did 9 a.m. today. Feel free to let us know. And we're happy to make sure that we can accommodate the students' needs. So keep me posted. Contact student.leadership, or you can feel free to directly contact myself at Jill Knight, jill.knight@uwaterloo.ca. And then we often do promotion through our uwaterloo Life Social. That formally concludes all that I have for you folks here today, right now, in the presentation. But I would be delighted to stick around for a few minutes, probably pop down the presentation. Maybe people can pop up their cameras and we can have a conversation if you like. Let me do that. Stop sharing. I think I'm frozen in a
We
terrible face right now. Oh, I'm
got you.
unfrozen now.
Yeah,
It was
got you.
frozen terribly. I'm sorry that you had to witness that.
It's all good.
If it if
thank
it
you so
makes you
much,
feel
Jill.
any better, we were having a black screen.
Yes, we didn't see you.
That makes me feel a lot better, yes.
Wonderful. Jill, I would also like to let you know that I put your direct email in the chat and I let everyone know that they can send you reminders about paddleboarding in the summer. So look out for all of those emails that will remind you of your commitment today. Um, Wonderful. So while we're sort of winding down, I'm going to start sharing my slides again because I know how to do that. Um, and like I mentioned before, I'm just going to put the link in the chat about a survey. It's like literally 3 questions, guys, just to see how we're doing. Like Jill mentioned, we are piloting these things virtually. And if this time has worked for you guys or doesn't work for you guys, or if you sort of crawled out of your bed this morning, but you would rather not crawl out to do the next one, please let us know. And we always encourage your feedback. So I put the link in the chat there. I am also going to do the draw right now for the $50 worth of Waterloo swag. So while I'm getting that set up, again, feel free to ask Jill any questions or any comments you have. Feel free to share it with her while I do this. It's going to take 6 seconds. And I'm just going to remind you guys as well to double check that you are actually eligible for this draw. So I'm going to put that in the chat as well. I'm also going to read it out loud. So you must be enrolled in spring 2021 courses. The chances of you winning really just depend on how many people are here. So I think there are 8 people right now. And excuse me, the university reserves the right to disqualify any entry for not conforming to these rules and regulations at any time. And the winner will be selected at random draw, which I'm going to do live. So I will now do this. And then also I kept saying that you can ask questions to Jill, but I didn't stop talking. So I'm going to be quiet for like 10 seconds while I actually pull it up there. Nope. Oh, great. Okay, can everyone see the spinny wheel? You got to be audible because I can no longer see.
Yep, all visible.
Yes. Okay, great. Love to hear
Please
your
me,
voices.
please me, please me, please.
Can everyone confirm that their names are on this list so you can look over here? If you're here and you see your name. Yes, is anyone not here? Because I'm about to click spin. Got 10 seconds. You ready?
Ah.
Cross your fingers. Okay.
Can we split it 8 ways?
I feel like $50 8 ways is really not all that lot. But you know
You
what?
could get a pencil. I don't know.
It's like $6 each.
You know what? I will personally give everyone a pencil when we're back on campus. If you want to come to the Student Success office and say, hey, Chérisse, I was in that session way back on May 20th, and you said that you would give me a pencil. So,
It
and I
has
will
to say
gladly,
Waterloo though.
I will give you a pencil that says Waterloo. Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to click it now. Let's see.
Ah. Of course.
Yay, congrats. Okay, now I feel like you. Okay, now this person, I feel like you absolutely need to say your name now because I'm not gonna um, say it incorrectly now that you're the winner. So if you feel comfortable, would you mind just unmuting and saying your name, if that's okay?
Hi, I'm Xiaoyu. Nice to
Xiao
meet
Yu.
you, and thank you for this.
No worries, no worries. So congratulations. I'm gonna stop the recording right now. Unless there are any more questions that anyone has for Jill, I'm gonna give it a 10 seconds. Okay, close enough.